Welcome back to the Six Pennies podcast. Getting close to the end of the NBA season, so today we're going to go through some of the top players in the NBA. We got all three guys here today, so Mock, are you doing okay? Are you back from Denver yet?
Yeah, we can share that story at another time, but long story short, Spirit Airlines stranded me in Denver for an extra day, but YOLO, so all good.
You get what you pay for, Spirit Airlines. That's true. Be their slogan. Albie, how's it going?
Good, man. I'm excited to do this podcast. I have a lot of opinions, so let's get started.
We know you always have opinions. All right, so we are going to go through the best of the best, a few different categories in the NBA, and then we're just going to straight up rank some guys. Let's start with the best dunker in the league. Mock, who you got as the best dunker now in the NBA?
Well, I wish all the best dunkers in the league were healthy right now, but I think when it's all said and done, this kid is still really young, and his kind of wingspan and potential are off the charts. I'm going to go with Giannis, my boy Giannis on the Bucks. He's one of the only guys in the NBA that I can think of where he can do a Euro step and still elevate and dunk off of that. And I think he just his dunks kind of come out of nowhere. You don't expect people to be able to dunk from the free throw line off the break, off like 3 steps from the half court line, and he can do that. So that's my guy.
Honestly, I was going to go with Giannis too because of some of the crazy stuff he's done with the Euro stepping and just, 2 big steps from the 3-point line and then suddenly he's dunking. One guy that I really like, though, besides the obvious like Zach LaVine or Aaron Gordon, really love John Wall's left-handed dunks. Is he ambidextrous?
Dang,
I mean, he dunks with his left hand all the time.
You took mine, Timmy.
Oh, sorry, dude.
No, you're fine.
Put it on the Google Doc?
No, I didn't, because
okay.
apparently you like to keep mystery, so I'm trying to be mysterious myself. But to answer your question, he shoots right-handed, but ever since he was like a 10th grader in high school, he's done most of his dunking with his left hand.
That's incredible. Gordon Hayward is also really underrated because he goes for two-handed jams all the time.
He always goes for two.
Like he drives in and you think he's gonna lay it up or go with one hand, and all of a sudden he's dunking with 2 hands on somebody. That's pretty amazing.
But in y'all's opinion, what makes them like the best dunker? Like what about the dunk makes it so good?
I think it's like how different the dunks are from other people, and how unique they look. Like you see LeBron's dunks and they look kind of similar every time, even though they're always amazing. But like when you look at a Giannis dunk or like the John Wall lefties, they always seem pretty unique.
Yeah, for me, it's the dunks that are the most amazing are the ones that surprise you, that shock you. And that's a lot of Giannis's dunks for me. They come out of nowhere. Like you don't expect someone to be able to dunk from that position. And he'll just keep elevating, and it's almost like, defying gravity.
Yeah.
What about Albie?
Yeah, so it's hard for me to really determine like the best dunker. Like I thought about the same guys you guys mentioned, but the more I think about it, I get more hyped when a person dunks like over or through someone. So it's harder for like a smaller guy to do that. Usually like back in the day it would be like Shaq, right? He didn't have style, but he would just like dunk through people like Chris Dudley and stuff. But I like, with that being said, I like DeMar DeRozan. I just love how he like attacks the rim.
You love DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, and like his dunk over Gobert last year is what I remember the most. Like he just literally saw him and he just continued elevating and literally dunked through him. So for me,
DeRozan's kind of a underrated dunker, but he wasn't even the best like dunker on his team for last year though. I think that went to Terrence Ross. Yeah.
But see, Terrence Ross to me is more, it's more of like a fast break, no defense, like by yourself dunker.
That's true.
And didn't he do like a 360 or like a between the legs dunk, and he missed in the game?
Maybe that's why he traded.
All right, let's move it on. Let's go to the best passer in the league. Albie, who's the best passer?
This one was really easy. it's LeBron James, and it to me it's not even close because
Of course.
I mean to me he just makes like all the different passes like stuff that let's say like you know Stephen Curry would like do a crossover and then lay it off with his left hand on a pass, and it'll look really smooth and nice. But the reason why it looks so shocking to the viewers is because it doesn't happen very often. But I think with like LeBron James, he makes like these amazing passes that are considered amazing for someone else, but for him it's just like just normal. And so I think because he makes it look so effortless, he is my number one passer in the NBA.
Mark, how about you?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's always hard to argue against LeBron, especially from a passing standpoint. He's very talented in that regard, but for me, it's also really no contest. It's the MVP of the league in 2017. It's James Harden. Leads the league in assists by a wide margin, and he's going to be one of the first ones, I think, in history to average almost 30 and 11. So he's kind of just taken over the league, in my opinion. He's the Rockets' offense right now. I didn't see last night's game, but for the most part, he's made the Rockets' offense almost unstoppable. Pretty much by himself. He controls the tempo, controls the ball, and he sees plays happen before anyone else can. And he's always 3 steps ahead.
Both of those guys are awesome. They both throw the best. I think I saw a stat. They both throw the longest passes, like the most touchdown passes in the league.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I think I was going to go with the point guard with Chris Paul, but I hate him too much. So I'm going with Nikola Jokic. I don't know if you guys have been seeing some of his stuff. The Joker with his no-look, over-the-head passes, orchestrating from top of the key. I mean, for a 6'10" guy, he's the best in the league already for a big man, and he's pretty amazing.
I'll be honest, I've never seen him play a game, so I couldn't.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, he's pretty talented. He's got. I think he's sneaking up there on the triple-double count. He's got maybe 4 or 5 on the year now, and to me, he's comparable to like maybe the new Divac or the new Sabonis. Not junior Sabonis, but the old Sabonis. He's very talented. He doesn't get very high off the ground ever, but other than that, he's really good.
He's kind of like old man Chris Webber. Bigger of course, but kind of got that same thing going. Those Kings days with Divac and Weber. Okay, let's move on to the best handles in the league. I'm going to go with Kyrie. I think his handles are amazing, and really the thing that's the most amazing for him is how he finishes after he makes the move. His layups are like probably the most amazing finishes in the league. What do you guys think?
Kyrie. So I'm really not sure where I'm at with Kyrie. I can't really say anything bad about him. He's kind of like LeBron level for me. I can't say anything bad about him or anyone else on that Cavs team from last year just because of how happy they made me after Kyrie hit that shot over Steph Curry in the finals in Game 7. But at the same time, when it comes to handles, I feel like his handles are it's like a solo act. Like he'd be really good on the playground. Obviously, he'd be really good playing pickup ball or one-on-one.
Uncle Drew.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to handles, like you have to, like when he does his handles, it's all ISO, and he's just looking to score. He's not going to be passing it off unless it's like one read, and that's about it. CP3, on the other hand, even though I hate him, just like you, Timmy, he's got the best handles in the game to me. He has the ball on the string. He has all the tricks, old man tricks, veteran tricks, and he can dribble in traffic. And when he dribbles, you don't know how to guard it because he sees the entire court. Kyrie maybe has one read when he's going ISO one-on-one. It's really just one cutter, like a Tristan Thompson cutting to the basket. But CB3 has, he knows exactly where JJ Redick is on the floor. He knows exactly who's cutting. Has 2 people cutting at the same time. He knows where his shooters are. So for me, it's CP3.
So this might be surprising to you guys. And I wrote Kyrie down on the Google Doc, but I had no intention of saying Kyrie. My
So
number
tricky.
one, yeah, my number one guy, and it's because I consider like footwork a part of it as well, and it's actually James Harden. I think his
Respect.
yeah
Yeah.
his step back game and his like Euro step game. I mean, like other players in the league can do it, but the difference with James Harden is like just how open he is right after he does the move. Like no one can break down a player as well as James Harden, in my opinion. Whether it's for like a 28-foot 3-pointer or like a Euro step layup. So for me, it's James Harden.
That's really true, actually. Timmy, do you agree? What do you think about like when it comes to handles? Do you think footwork's involved with that as well? I never even thought of that, but if we're including that, then Harden has to be up there.
Yeah, he's definitely up there. Not just with the footwork, but even just his handles are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's not really what I would think of normally. I mean, it's a fair point. Same thing as when I'm looking at Kyrie and how he finishes. I think that's not really part of handles necessarily either. But some of his stuff is amazing. I don't think we're wrong with any of these, except for Mock. You're wrong because Chris Paul.
So
right,
my argument before we jump ahead, my argument against like Kyrie and CP3, because they do have great individual ball handling skills. Like they can dribble, crossover, dribble between the legs, behind their back, whatever. But the thing that sets James Harden and those two players apart is like after Kyrie and Chris Paul do their moves, the defender is still there. Like Kyrie still has to make a really hard layup. CP3 still has to knife through the defense. But when James Harden does his dribbling move, like he's literally wide open for a 3-pointer. Like I don't think like honestly anyone in like the history of the NBA, to be honest. Like maybe an Iverson crossover got him super open, but to me James Harden is like head and shoulders above everyone right now.
And I mean that's part of why he gets fouled on so many threes too, because he gets so open that it's like obvious he's going to shoot it, and the guy jumps at him and he gets fouled for the 3. So, all right, that's fine. James Harden. Let's go to the best shooter in the league. I don't think it's any contest. Steph Curry is the best shooter in the league. I know you guys both hate him, but he's the best.
Wait, does Albie still hate him? I don't know.
Oh, he switched, right?
I hate Steph Curry.
Here, he's back. He's back.
More than ever right now. Because they're rolling. They won like 8 in a row. They just beat Houston in Houston. So I'm like 100% full on hate Steph Curry.
Wait, you jumped on the Warriors. You jumped back on the Warriors bandwagon like a week ago, right? So now you're off again, right?
Yeah, I'm off because they're playing too well right now.
Okay, we should start like a Twitter feed. Like, does Albie like the Warriors? And just update it every day because I guess it's gonna change, huh?
Yeah, let's do it. We'll have so many followers. To answer your question, best shooter to me is his teammate Kevin Durant. I mean, I respect Steph Curry. Like his numbers are outrageous. Just the sheer volume of threes that he's made the last few years is outrageous. But the reason why I picked Kevin Durant is like the versatility of the type of shots that he can get off from 3-point shooting, just like Steph Curry. So catch and shoot, off the dribble. But Kevin Durant also is great, like posting up. He's great in the mid range. He can shoot. I don't know his like behind the basket game other than his fadeaways, but I'm sure if he worked on that, he could do like hooks and semi hooks and stuff too. I just think just the sheer versatility and skill level of Kevin Durant makes him my number one shooter.
Mock? Yeah, that's fair. I used to love Durant, and he still has UT ties, so I'm okay with that. For me, it's Eric Gordon. I gotta give respect to not only Houston Rockets, but the defending 3-point contest winner from All-Star game. And he put on a show. He tore up that. Who's that other guy on the Warriors? Role player.
Everybody hates him. We all hate him.
Steve Kerr.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve Kerr is a better shooter than him. Clay. Yeah, so he beat Clay in the contest and really wasn't close in the finals. Gordon he's surprised me, not only with just his health, but his shooting has been amazing this year. And coming off the bench especially, he's been the focal point of the offense when James Harden sits, and he's still putting up pretty good numbers.
I think the most amazing thing about both Eric Gordon and Clay, even though you guys hate Clay, but I think it's amazing how quickly they shoot once they get the ball, and it's like one motion, like so fast. like a rocket launcher. Like immediately the ball just goes up in the air, same motion every time. So all pretty amazing guys, and yeah, that's fine. So Albie, you hate the Warriors and you hate Steph Curry, but you think Kevin Durant's the best shooter, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hate Steph Curry, but he's still like one of the top shooters. But the very top is Kevin Durant. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go through now, and we were just thinking like, okay, so we named so many top players, but who are actually the top guys in the league right now? Top 15 guys, and we list them all out. It's pretty difficult. Our top 5 is the same, even though it kind of switches here and there. But LeBron, Durant, Kawhi, Harden, and Westbrook. I just wanted to ask Mock, you have Harden second. Why do you have him second over the other guys? Albie and I had him a little later.
Harden to me is hands down the best offensive player in the game. He's the MVP this year. He is, despite what most people think, he is capable of playing defense. But I think he carries so much of that offensive burden, and it's kind of hard to imagine where the Rockets would be without him right now. Honestly, I have him slightly ahead of Kawhi. Kawhi, it's a lot of the Spurs factor. That organization is just so well run and so well coached that I have to take away a lot of the credit from Kawhi and just give it to like Popovich, because he can really mix and match. Like he can, and we've seen it in the past couple of years. Whenever people sit, or I bet you most of the people listening to this podcast or the casual NBA fan can't even name like 5 people on the Spurs right now. Like they're playing these nobodies that no one else has heard of. But just because their organization is so well run and they have, really good scouting and really from top to bottom, just a great organization. So for me, Harden is right there, right below LeBron.
All right, that's fine. I mean, Harden's amazing. I know you love the Rockets. Albie, you have Kawhi number 2. Why is that?
I think he's the best two-way player in the game. I think he has like elite level defense. So like maybe once in a 10-year type player on defense already, and then his offensive skills are, they're not like Harden level. Harden level, the stuff that he does and the stuff that he has to shoulder for that offense. Kawhi, I don't think Kawhi will ever have to do, because Mock's right. Like just because of the Spurs organization and their system, like there's not gonna be like one superstar that has to do everything on offense. But I think he's number 2 just because of his defensive abilities.
I've got Durant number 2. We talked about his shooting abilities. He was working on like a 54% 54% field goal season, which is amazing for a guy shooting that many jumpers. And then his defense, like he said, like defense is important, and he has stepped up his game a lot this year with the Warriors. He was blocking like 1.5, almost 2 blocks a game, I think. Really, really complete. I think his offensive game is so much better than Kawhi's, even though his defense obviously isn't going to be as good. But he stepped it up so much. I think he's number 2. Just because he got hurt, I think people have forgotten about that a little bit in the last month.
So my benchmark for like Durant versus Kawhi is like, I feel like Durant would have somewhat of a challenge trying to guard Kawhi. Trying to guard Kawhi, because I think Kawhi can get buckets on him, and then vice versa. I think Kawhi can do a really good job on Durant defensively, so that's why I put Kawhi above Durant.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think it's kind of a wash. I mean, Kawhi can guard Durant, but I mean, they can both do it either way. So I don't think that is it's kind of a difficult way to judge the guys. Let's move on, though. We all had LeBron number 1, by the way. We all have Westbrook number 5. After that, number 6, I have Steph Curry. You guys don't have Steph Curry on your list until like Mock, did you even put Curry on your list? Anyway, who do you guys have as number 6?
For me, it's the unibrow. I still don't know why he hasn't shaved that thing other than branding, but it's when he's healthy, he's kind of showing what he can do this year. And if they need a guard still on that team. I know we talked about this on a previous podcast when DeMarcus Cousins got traded over there, but I feel like you put one decent perimeter guy next to him, and that team's really going to take off.
Albie, who's your number 6?
My number 6, Mock mentioned him earlier as the best dunker. It's the Greek freak Giannis. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his last name, but he's just like amazing. I think like I saw the numbers the other day regarding where he's at the age of 22. I think he's like way ahead of already LeBron James, which is ridiculous to me.
Giannis is he's pretty close for me. Giannis Antetokounmpo, by the way. He's number 9 for me, but Mock, you had Giannis way lower on this. I expected him to be higher, but you have him down at like 11. You have guys like Marc Gasol and Karl Anthony Towns above him, whereas Albie and I didn't put Gasol anywhere, and we have Towns like at the end. Wait, that's Marc Gasol, not Powell, right?
Definitely not Powell. Giannis, to me, I mean, I like him. I think he's still kind of coming into his own, like figuring out his game still. But his on the offensive end, his lack of a jump shot really hinders that offense. And he's long enough to, take a couple dribbles and try to finish at the rim. But until he gets that part of the game, I can't put him above these other guys.
All right, well let's move it along. We've jumped around a little bit. Kind of 6 through 9, we had some similar guys. 7, we all had Chris Paul, so just want to make sure we mention his name, even though we all kind of hate him. But as we move on to like number 10, you guys have Paul George as like that next tier.
And
I start with John Wall because I think he has had way better of a season. He's leading the Wizards right now. He's averaging like 22 and 10 and left-handed dunks everywhere. How come you guys have Paul George so high? I know he's good at defense, but he's not that great at offense, right?
I think he's the second best two-way player, if we're talking about two-way.
Yeah, I agree. Unlike Timmy, I don't have recency bias. I feel like Paul George has done more. I agree.
The guy that changes if you like the Warriors every day based on how many wins they have.
I agree 100% that the Indiana Pacers and Paul George have been like a huge disappointment this year. They were supposed to be, super high scoring, space and pace and all that kind of stuff. But are they even 500? I doubt they're 500.
They're exactly 500.
Okay. Whereas John Wall, he's really elevated his game. He's made all his teammates better this year. So, I mean, Timmy does have a good argument. I just think like Paul George, at this point in both their careers, is the better player.
All right, well let's wrap up this list a little bit with guys that some of us have on and some don't. Albie, you have Draymond Green on your list at number 11. I was very surprised by this because I know you don't like him. Tell us about Draymond Green. Why is he here?
Yeah, so I hate Draymond Green, not as much as I hate Steph Curry, but for Draymond Green, to me it's really just the versatility. I know that like he's not a great shooter, he's not a great passer, he's not great at one thing, but I think he's average to above average on multiple things, and I think just the fact that he can do multiple things and play multiple roles is something that's really rare to find in the NBA, and so that's why he's up there as a top 15 player for me. I think like a lot of his like skills or success is because like he plays for the Warriors and he has like all these shooters around him and stuff. I 100% agree with that. But I think if he were on a bad team, like I don't know, a Dallas Mavericks or something like that, it's not like he would be a 25-point scorer. But I think his numbers will elevate across the board, and he'll make other players better. So that's why I have him up there.
Elevate on a bad team?
No. I think his numbers would elevate. I mean, his percentages would probably drop, but I think he'll just get more opportunities and elevate, yeah.
Man, I don't know. I don't see his numbers elevating at all on a bad team. I think his percentages, like you said, would definitely plummet. But because, I mean, there's so much. You're talking about the Warriors having, arguably 3 of the top 5 shooters in the league.
Yeah.
And so So the space is wide open for him. The lane's always open. He's crashing offensive glass because there's so much spacing. And the passing, honestly, like you and I could do it. Like
It's true. I mean,
blindfolded.
it's
Like,
simple passes, but it is him. It's him in that role, and I mean, also I think he's a little overrated defensively. Like I think he's gonna end up being a first team All NBA defense on the defense team, but I think I don't know, just versatility alone is big for me, so that's why I have him up there.
I think Draymond's really good defensively. I think I think that's where he excels, where he is better than average compared to the other things. But like you said, I mean, he's got a very diverse game. He'd probably be really good at soccer since he's so good at kicking. But yeah, I don't have him at the top in this top 15. I think there's too many other guys. Let's finish off with two guys. Mock, you do not have Boogie Cousins on this list at all. And then Albie, you don't have Isaiah Thomas on this list. Mock, tell me a little bit about why you hate Boogie.
That's a very loaded question. I think, I mean, the talent is obviously there, but kind of the same things I brought up in the podcast when he got traded is still evident. He still can't control his emotions, and I don't know how much he elevates his team. So on the Kings, we always made excuses for him for never making the playoffs, never really having a great win percentage. It's obviously a bottom two worst run franchise in the NBA. But now he's teamed up. He's got some talent on his team now, at least in the front court, and they still aren't going anywhere yet. So I don't know. He's expanded his game this year. He's shooting threes, which seems to be the norm among big men now, unfortunately. But I don't know. He's just not elevating his game enough, in my opinion, to crack the top 15. Because top 15 to me, which is why Draymond was kind of such. He doesn't look like he belongs on this list, because when you say you're top 15, it's saying if you put everyone in the league in a draft, like they would be lottery pick, and I just definitely don't see it with Draymond.
That's a good point.
I see it with Cousins more than Draymond, obviously, but there's just too many more talented people like Isaiah for me.
Yeah, I mean, you also didn't finish your list. You still have 2 empty spots on your list, so maybe it is Boogie and Draymond, and you just haven't told us.
Definitely not Draymond.
All right, well, Albie, speaking of Isaiah, the heir apparent to Allen Iverson, he is not on your list either. But again, you left number 15 blank, so maybe he's right there. Is he?
So Isaiah Thomas, who I like, I don't love like Mock does. But Isaiah to me is the same as like a Jimmy Butler, Damian Lillard, Kyle Lowry, Kyrie. Like they're in that same second tier. So if we expanded this to like top 20, he'll probably be in it. But that 15th person, I just couldn't like definitively put one person down for that.
All right. So I guess we should have just done top 13 or something, since you guys don't like finishing the lists. But let's wrap this up. Thanks, guys, for joining the Six Pennies podcast. Please give us a like on Facebook at Six Pennies Podcast, and subscribe to us on YouTube.